my channel is so small and not monetized, so don't be surprised if I interact with the comments, just like it was a chat. Because that's, for me, that's my live chat until I learn how to stream, if I ever want to do that. So into the topic, I noticed something interesting. And by noticing this, you don't have to give power, to what's it called, or energy on behalf of somebody say terrible, awful things about, you know what I mean, or your maggots and all this kind of shit. Because that's Radio Rwanda. I don't even engage like that with calling somebody maggots. It's like Radio Rwanda, like who's the cockroach beach, and fucking you need an excuse to go, because you can't live in a world where you somebody like Trump is elected. So he's your punching bag and everything, and sooner or later he's going to do something to where you don't have a punching bag anymore. And these people want to be able to call themselves moral absolutists, and it's very interesting because you don't have to frustrate yourself to the point of, you know how they always like get like pissed off and like fuck shit, goddamn, just start cussing, or like you're exhausting yourself because you don't want to be a consequentialist for whatever reason. That it's because they're preference based. It's like something about seeing something, having a problem with perpetuating something that causes harm or something. Or if it's preference based, if you're what was it that had to be preference based? Something. I don't know. I don't talk fast like some of these people. But I was watching it on the show Whatever. It was a show where my fans, models, get what's it called? Pushback, and they had to get pushback on that show because it wasn't watchable, but the thing is, when they do get pushback, you are creating the next thing that is probably watchable, which is like, putting the intellectuals up to the task and rating them as far as they're over the top, or if they hit the meat right on the bat, it's like the next reality TV. So some of these people that are going over to this show and doing it for free, they're probably building a platform in an area that they could just fuck around and get rich. They could just fuck around and get rich. I wouldn't be mad, because you know whether or not someone is name calling, or if they have a legitimate descriptor. Those are things that even before you know about what they are, they could be in play, or even help you to understand what your calibrate your perspective on things. Because I don't know, you're always learning anyway. I'll just leave it at that. So there's like weird people. They have like, it's about this, why do you have to be a moral absolutist? If you like, when you get down to the bottom of it, like, we might just decide none of us are. You might just decide none of us are moral absolutists because it's impossible. And if you're mad that you're a consequentialist, it's because you're being intellectually dishonest, or you're not giving good faith arguments. So I think that had to do with the good faith argument shit about whether or not it's you're arguing preferential, like if whether or not your decision is always based in like preferential outcomes when outcomes are not even a thing. It's not a thing. I mean, you can expect them, but it's not a thing because you can't be motivated by the interest of outcomes always being favorable, because sometimes you will accept an unfavorable outcome to result and affect something that you want more, or something that's so yeah. And they were trying to suggest, I guess, whether or not they were trying to flesh out whether or not they believe that they had a responsibility to, I guess, men who would be doing other things if they weren't watching my fans, simping, or if they bankrupted themselves or on one of these models, or something like that. Because one of those girls said that she, like, after a dude said I was bankrupt, she said, like, oh, like, I didn't know, like, you shouldn't have done that, but then she didn't give the money back. So I don't know, it kind of like that came out after her statement of, she made like a statement of truth or something, trying to get to another truth statement is how it goes, and it didn't work out because of the fact that in her preferential bias, she didn't see fit to give the money back, so she couldn't make the claim. It's a weird thing. And when they get caught out like that and they don't have the, you know what I'm saying, when their arguments fall apart, they get mad. They're like, oh, you fuck up, like, you fucked up. Like, they'll be like, God, like, oh, like you're a stupid, like, God damn it, stupid dumbass, like, you still don't get it. Anyway, that's really that show. Whatever, could have been started with no good in mind, other than, you know, you know, like building up a platform for, it's just another venue for revenues, and you know, it could have been, you know, like, it doesn't mean that it won't have a good effect. So something that might not have been designed, like, okay, let's say that show, whatever, was designed for publicity for my fans. It was supposed to be there like a buttress, like a support for the industry. It's supposed to support the my fans industry, and it wasn't watchable. But when you bring in, I don't know if you want to call them dissenting voices, because you haven't been proposed with anything to dissent to yet. First, the show starts out asking these girls about their boyfriends and relationships and stuff until they make some kind of true statement or something like that. And then there's this panel, 3 guys or 4 guys just sitting there ready to evaluate. And, you know, so like that turns into something. And a lot of people don't know that they're going to watch it even if you don't like it. A lot of people are going to be watching this shit annoyed and getting, like, it's like they're going to be like there's people that send text to speech and to interrupt when it gets good. They'll send text to speech and just keep interrupting when somebody gets close to something on that show. But it doesn't matter, because even that is taken into account. Like, even all that stuff is all still part of the whole, you know, the whole, yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, you gotta go check out this show if you want to know what I'm talking about. It's called Whatever. Because there's people on there that say things that, like, okay, it's just like, before you know, you think you know, until you know, you don't know, but when you know, you know. And so that's the problem, is you don't know until you know. When something is something smart over my head, I'll try to, like, I have a friend who says things that are over my head sometimes, and I didn't even know that I was going to need to remember. Then I try to remember, but you need to set up and build come from another point to express, because you don't have. So it's like, even if I can't remember what he said, it changes the whole game, because you do have to dig inside to come up with and then it'll put back together the whole picture. Then when you, at that point, you're not trying to remember something, you have it. You're not trying to just remember, you have it. And it could be the conveyance, or the the formal mode of not the form of, or mode of expression. That almost sounds like in all intents and purposes, instead of intensive purposes or something. I don't know, like, what do we say? No, the first one was the right one. Okay, this is a diary. I'm just rambling and stuff. Hella scatterbrain all over the place. Little inserts, and they just drop in shit. Oh, a footnote. And then okay, so that's it. I'm drawing a blank now, then it's over.